Hey, my name is Christie Brown. I decided to do my demonstrative speech topic on how to be a good coach. I hope you enjoy. A coach must have certain characteristics such as knowledge of the sport and qualifications to be successful. They must know how to communicate with their players and other coaches. They need to guide and inspire their players to give 100% in the sport at all times. They also help their players realize their potential in the specific sport. Qualities of a good coach include commitment and dedication. They need to be committed 100% fully to the sport and to their players and also to their other coaches. They need to be passionate about their work and their team. They need to have knowledge of the sport that goes far beyond just the fundamentals. They need to be highly inquisitive. That means they need to seek out new information of the specific sport that they're coaching. They need to be disciplined. They need to have rules and regulations for not only the players but the other coaches and themselves as well. They need to be able to communicate well with the players and other coaches. They need to communicate in the way that the coaches and other players can comprehend what they are saying. They need to motivate their players. This means they need to stay positive, enthusiastic, and they need to be inspirational. They need to stay attentive at all times. They need to identify and appreciate the differences of their other players. They need to work with the players on their weaknesses but also on their strengths. And they need to be able to change their coaching method if needed. Good coaches also need to be approachable. This means they need to be receptive and available to the players and the other coaches. They need to be willing to modify their coaching method based on the feedback that the coaches and players give them. There's a couple of types of practices, and they include variable. This is like open skills practice when you would do live experience more so than just repetition and stuff like that. So you would have kind of like a game in a practice session. This is called open skills. Another one is fixed. This is closed skills, and it's like repetition. And an example would be repeatedly hitting a ball, ground balls or line drives or pop flies to the infield, outfield, so and so. Another one is called masked. The skill is practiced without breaks until the skill is developed. This is suitable for simple skills like getting the lead at first base in softball or any kind of footwork with basketball, football, baseball, track, anything like that. Another is called disturbed. This means pretty much what it says it means. Breaks are taken while you're learning the skill. This is suitable for a complex skills like running plays in football, running plays in basketball, stuff like that. And I added this one in because I think it's very important, the training that players need to undergo. And your training consists of cardiovascular endurance, which is running a mile or doing sprints or running bleachers and stuff like that. You also have weight training, which is, of course, weights. And I added this one because I think it's probably the most important one, which is abdominal training, because in the sport I play, abdominal training is mainly what we focused on, because when you have strong abs, you have better stability and balance, and that really helps with batting and swinging a bat and stuff like that. Teaching methods for coaches would include simple and complex skills. They need to be aware of what kind of skills the individual players perceive as simple and complex. Whole practice is ideally learning the skill at one time and performing it at one time at one session. This would be like turning a double play in softball. Whereas, I'll show you. You can't see the base, but it's on the floor, I guess. In turning a double play in softball, you're coming from second base. you're running with your glove in the air and this hand covering so you can catch the ball with two hands, and you take your left foot, put it on the bag while you're hollering out 2, 2, 2, so the shortstop or third baseman or whoever can throw it to you. And then you got your left foot on the bag, waiting, staying athletic the whole time. And then when they throw it to you, you're catching with two hands, and you're either coming across the bag, pivoting, and throwing first base, or you can step on second base with your left foot still and catch the ball, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, catch the ball, stepping back and throwing to first base. That would be something you would learn at one time because it's simple and easy footwork, really. You have part instruction, which this means it's easier to break down a complex skill or a harder skill into simple skills. And an example of this could be batting, and I'm going to show that too. When you're batting, you're looking at the pitcher. There's probably about 4 or 5 steps in batting, something like that. You're looking at the pitcher, you're at a relaxed state at first. Then when this is called loading. You're loading, you're making sure this elbow is up, your knuckles are lined up, these knuckles are lined up together. You're in a loading position. And then triggering is when you take a step. You see how my body goes up when I take a step? You don't want to be doing that when the pitcher is pitching the ball or releasing it and the ball's coming to you, because your eye level changes when you're taking a step. I learned that when I was playing softball at Pitt. But you're loading, taking a step, staying athletic, feet are shoulder width apart or a little bit more with some people. But you have your weight on your back leg, keeping your elbow up, looking at the pitch. When it's coming in, you go to your first spot. This is hitting a middle, like a pitch coming down the middle. You always keep the bat head behind where the ball's going to be, because when you hit the ball, when you make contact with the ball right here, you're pushing through to get fully extended, and then wrap around when you're coming back. For an inside pitch, you would go like this and push through. Outside pitch, same thing, push through. Another one is whole instruction. This is just when the athletes are performing the task and the coaches are watching and they tell you what you do wrong and then they'll try to fix it. Another one is shaping, which is suitable for actions with simultaneous events. An example of that would be hurdling. Another would be chaining. It's suitable for actions that have a lot of movement and a lot of steps to it. There's a quote that I like to say about coaches, and it goes, "A good coach often wears several hats," which this means they don't really wear several hats at one time, but psychologically in their head they have to be a teacher, a counselor, a cheerleader, a motivator, and also a mentor. And if you find a coach that has all of these qualities, then you have found a good coach. That is all. Thank you.